Hey, welcome to my video. This is a 1995 Trek 920, and there was a fella in Cupertino wanting about $100 for it, and I offered him $40 and he took it. So let's go over this. Trek made a lot of these bikes. They had figured out how to produce these, and cost reductions were going full stream. This is made with double-bedded chromoid tubing, I suspect in the main tubes, these three, as well as in the front fork. There are no lugs on this. This is all welded, and I suspect it's tungsten and inert gas welding, called TIG welding. It has an aluminum fork and 32 spoke front and rear wheels. So cost effectiveness was going full swing at this time. I've already done a slight cleanup with this bike and had it tuned up from a mechanic from Fix Your Bike Day down at the farmer's market. Remarkably, it's in really good shape. It has nice paint, and this is before they went into two-tone funky paint jobs called ombre, where you have one color blending into another color, and where they meet in the middle is this mud or black, and you can't do a touch-up on any of these. This is a 21 speed, and it uses a grip shift, 3 in the front, 7 in the back. And this is made with a glass impregnated, something like polycarbonate. So this has the Shimano STX front and rear derailleur, and it's mostly aluminum alloy with some steel parts on it. So the 7-speed rear cassette might not be low enough for you to climb, because it's only a 28 tooth low, and you might really want a 32 or a 34 tooth low, and you can do that. You can install that on this derailleur. These cantilever brakes are the kind of Shimano cantilevers that break all the time, because it has a plastic sleeve for the spring housing, and they're always cracked. This one happens to be in good shape, but it also uses right here, instead of a transverse cable, it uses this Trek design adjuster for balancing, in addition to your spring tension screw on one of the brake arms. And so you adjust this using a 16mm wrench to try to center the brake. It doesn't work very well, because no matter what you do, you have limited braking capability on the rear. The rear rim needs some work, so I'll need to spend some time and true it up. But overall, the condition of the bike is in good shape. So this has an aluminum seat post, and it was stuck, so I needed to pull this out, and using some automatic transmission fluid was able to loosen this up really quickly. Sometimes it's not that easy. The saddle is gooey, and so I'll just replace that. The headset needs service, so I'll take apart this and repack the bearings or replace the bearings as necessary. Like I said, on these shifters, these are the SRAM grip shift 7-speed shifters. Are hard to find, but it's been out in the sun for a number of years, and they work fine enough. The cable's been replaced, but it's not ideal for touring, because because they're nylon, and you have a good crash, these could break and then your tour is over. The grips are gooey also. They're somewhat degraded. I've sprayed them with some clear spray paint, so it's taken away some of the tackiness. But because it's a grip shift shifter, you have limited choices as to the type of handlebar grips you can put on this. So if you wanted to put ergonomic grips, it's going to be a bit more challenging. Alright, so I'll work on this, and then once we've got this working the way I like it, we'll outfit it with the rack, front rack, the rear rack, see how that goes, and then we'll put on a water bottle case and a pump. So on these grip shifters, what I like to do is rotate the shifter, and there's a little set screw hole down here someplace here. Loosen it and then rotate the whole shifter so that the exit of the cable is straight down, is in the vertical position. I do that for the left and the right side as well. This makes it so that when you adjust the placement of your brake levers, that you're not going to get constrained by this cable connection point. I also put in have a gap of around 20 millimeters from the end of the shifter to the beginning of the brake lever as well. That makes it so that when you go to apply the brakes, your whole hand is not on the brake lever, but maybe 2 or 3 fingers. Once I have the headset bearings taken apart and repack the bearings or replace the bearings as necessary, I'll lubricate the stem, but I'll want to bring the stem up as far as I can. And in most cases, where if the stem is about the same level as your saddle or a little bit higher, that's good. You might be needed to replace the handlebar and put in a riser bar as well, and a 40 millimeter riser bar would be a good solution for that. Funny enough, the Trek 920 comes with this stamped steel Shimano crank set, and it's not great, but it's serviceable, and certainly they're not going to wear out. The pedals themselves, these are pretty good pedals, but these have been exposed to the elements, and so they don't rotate very well. I did drill a little access hole here so that I can lubricate them, but I think some water's gotten into the bearings, and so I can either take it apart, replace the bearings, or just replace the pedals. Pedals are not very expensive, and I've got extras. When I shift into high gear, the gap between the top of the tooth on the chainring to the bottom of the cage on the derailleur is about as low as I can get it while still having good shifting going from the large chainring to the small chainring. On a road bike, you want to get this to be very small, but on a mountain bike with 3 chain rings, you really can't do that. With any old bike, you can be assured that the rear derailleur hanger is bent, and so the first thing you do is you remove the derailleur, install the alignment gauge, straighten it up, and then reinstall the derailleur. Here's a picture again of that goofy Trek hanger gauge, and you can see that when I pull the brake lever, this moves just a little bit, but the braking action is not equal, and so you can see, the left doesn't move at all, moves almost none at all, and the right brake arm moves first. So the right brake arm makes contact with the rim, and then the left side does. And no matter how much you try, you really can't get this to brake evenly. It's frustrating. It's a source of frustration. This bike's been outside for a number of years, and so all of these braze-ons that you would attach a rack to were full of rust. And the first thing you do is you want to buy a tap, a 5mm 0.7 pitch tap, and rethread these holes. That is, you want to clean out the rust, because when you try to install a screw in a rusty hole, you have a really good chance of weakening the screw or snapping it off, and that's going to create a big set of problems for you. So the best way to prevent that is buy an M5, a 5mm tap with a 0.7 pitch on it, and clean out these threads, and do that for all the locations where this is necessary, and it'll save you a lot of time and frustration.
Okay, so that concludes the overview of this Trek 920, and please like and subscribe. In my next video, I'll go over some of the repairs that I've done to get this bike roadworthy, and in the meantime, keep on cycling. Bye.